Can't
Um,
stop, won't stop.
get guap. Sorry,
Raindrop, drop top.
I'm recording by the way.
Oh, are we? Are we
I've been
starting?
recording for like the past like 30 seconds.
You've been recording?
Yeah, I think it's a lot better if it happens naturally. I don't think everything needs an intro and a title. I think everything just needs it just needs to flow.
I feel like a raccoon who's been caught in the
Look at
dumpster, though.
like the way I'm
I should
moving. This
not
is
have
how this
been
podcast needs
looked
to
at.
move.
I was just trying to
A what?
sustain myself, but
A raccoon
you
in a
see me
dumpster?
in the trash, like picking away at something I shouldn't have been picking away at.
I think raccoons are cute,
Yeah, they are.
little trash pandas. Welcome back to the podcast, guys. This is episode 5. By the time you're seeing this, episode 4 will probably be up if I'm estimated correctly. It depends on how quickly I edit through this. I'm probably just gonna half-ass it, honestly.
Are we numbering these? So wait, number 5 is the one that has got this will be the 5th.
This
one
will
going
be
up.
the 5th one.
Okay, yeah.
I've been numbering them. I know you don't care, but I care. I've been numbering them. I care about this podcast. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Did you make sure you turn your noise suppression off?
Oh.
Yeah, he's got to
yeah.
do that, or else it's awkward. If you go through the old episodes, guys, on the YouTube, you can see him just like laughing with no audio in the background, and it's just so funny to me.
Okay, see, now the laugh should get picked up, so that's good.
Yeah, it doesn't matter for me because it's just picking up my raw audio. Like I don't have a condenser or anything
you're
on
raw you're raw in it right
Yeah,
now?
like if I'm tuning, I'm pretty sure they can hear it.
Stop.
Well, I haven't been.
Okay.
There's my plate there. I was eating pizza earlier.
Oh my god.
I had some
Shout outs
leftover
to
pizza.
pizza.
Papa John's. No sponsors though. I'm gonna blur that. Look away.
What flavor? Meat?
Pepperoni.
Oh, yeah, I think you said that already.
I don't know. I only like to get like extravagant flavors for like extravagant things. Like if I had like a party, I'll get like a three meat, 3 cheese.
Well, but when it's just you alone, you're not allowed to treat yourself?
No,
What?
I have to earn the 3 meat. K.
What? Do you think you don't earn it when you just had like a really sad day and you deserve to just sit there and eat pizza alone?
No, if I had a sad day, I get sad pizza.
Sad pizza? What
I
is
haven't
sad
earned
pizza?
it.
Is that one topping pizza?
Cheese
Just cheese.
pizza.
Cheese is
No
the saddest
sauce.
pizza.
No sauce. It's just
No
cheese
sauce.
bread.
Cheese bread.
It's actually really funny. So you know how I'm like a super picky eater?
Yeah.
So when I first met I mentioned for those of you who don't know, it's Katsume. She's a person I make content with. I made a comment that I like my pizza without sauce. I said this to her and she didn't believe me at first. And then later on in the friendship, she realized I'm a super picky eater. I don't like to eat a lot of food. So I remember like one time I was going to go over to her place with a bunch of friends. I was like, hey, I'll order us a pizza. She's like, you're not allowed to order it. And I was like, why? And he's like, because you order sauceless pizza. You don't eat normal pizza. I was like, you believe me? I was like, you took that seriously?
That is a fact.
And I was
That
just,
is the
and
word.
it just blew my mind that for like the past 2 years, she thought I just eat sauceless pizza.
To be fair, that's kind of what like cheesy bread is. Like they give you sauce on the side, like to dip the cheesy bread in.
I
Have you
think
seen that?
they're just trying to. I think cheesy bread is a cash grab because you're usually just dipping it in tomato sauce.
Isn't that what pizza just is? It's deconstructed
Yeah, it's
pizza.
a cash grab. No, deconstructed foods are so stupid. I hate them. I hate deconstructed foods so much.
And then you build it yourself. It's like Lego, but you eat it this time.
I hate the deconstructed food that doesn't look like what it's supposed to be. Like, there's this one TikTok channel that I used to follow, and he used to just like make things, but make them look nothing like what they are. He'd like bring out this little ball of like clear liquid. He's like, "This is salad," and I'm just like, "No, no, it's not."
Are you telling me you don't want to eat food that doesn't look like how it should?
Like, I'll dabble.
I'll dabble. I'll
But,
dabble in a salad
see,
orb.
My problem with a lot of the foods I don't like is texture. I'm not a texture guy. Like, if it doesn't feel like it should be in my mouth, I won't put it in my mouth. Except
So,
for
like,
sometimes I'll just put like caps in my mouth.
But that shouldn't be in your mouth.
Yeah, I know, it's weird.
Okay, but like, what about the future that they say we're all gonna live in, where it's pills and jelly orbs, and that's what food's gonna be? You know,
I'll be dead by then.
sci-fi. You don't want to live in a future where it's just pills and jelly orbs.
No, I feel like the joy of food is getting all that flavor in your mouth and just being able to like look at the presentation and everything.
Well, it'll still be all the flavor. It's just like an orb. You just
It's not the same because sometimes, like, say you're like eating like, say you're having a turkey dinner, right? You got your stuffing on one part, you got your turkey in another, and you got your mashed potatoes. And if you like to, you mix a little bit of gravy in there, or you just put it on the side, whatever your call is. Sometimes you want to get some mashed potatoes. Nom nom. Oh, you want to put some gravy on there. Nom nom. Oh, hold on. I want to mix the stuffing and the mashed potatoes. Like you can't mix and match and like enjoy it as you like, you know, with a food pellet. What are you gonna do with a food pellet?
I mean, fair enough, fair enough. What is your favorite color of food? If you're at Thanksgiving dinner, you put all the foods together. Like, what is your favorite color of food, you think?
I usually just get mashed potatoes and turkey.
I
If
agree.
if I'm feeling
is the
frisky,
best
I'll
food
throw
color.
some ham in there too.
Like,
But
by
my,
the time my Thanksgiving plate done, it looks very beige.
Well, I don't mix the gravy with my mashed potatoes like you do, so mine usually just looks like white.
Oh, well, okay, fair enough, fair enough.
Yeah, the same color of the plates. I'm not a sauce guy. Unless the only time I like gravy is specifically at the rodeo in the town we live in. Their burgers. Oh, I'm so those burgers are so good. They take the burgers and they cover them in the gravy. I don't know what it is about their gravy compared to other gravy. I'm just not a fan of gravy, but their gravy, it's so good, and I don't know what it is. I think it's meth. Which I hope not, because your mom cooks them, so I hope it's not meth. I hope to God it's not meth.
On that message.
You should ask her for me. Ask her what the gravy is. Does she cook them, or
what do
does
you
she
put in
just
there? Is it
does she
meth?
cook them, or does she just run the tills?
She does like a bit of everything.
Hmm.
She helps out everywhere.
I want to know who cooks those. Those are freaking delicious.
So yeah, that's the best part. It's all like volunteer, so like it changes every time.
I've only volunteered there once.
And how did it feel running food?
I was used to it already. Like, I've done that before. Well, I ran the till. I didn't do the food. You did the food. The year I was there.
Yeah.
And then the only thing I liked about it is that we got free tickets to the VIP section, and I thought that was really cool.
Got to see them horses.
Yeah, it's like you don't have to like sit beside people and just squish in between them and like touch them. You just get your own chair, and then they're just serving you free food. And I'm like, what the fuck is this, heaven? I was like, is this what it's like to be rich? Oh my goodness. I got a taste for the rich luxurious life of a rodeo.
What, now that you're living in the big city? Have you
Yeah,
had
and
those
then the freaking
experiences
rodeo
too?
clown that's walking around in the stands doesn't smack you with a broom. I remember I was going up the stairs.
When he
I was
starts
going up
throwing
the
stuff at
stairs
you?
and he smacked my cheeks with a broom as I was going up. I was just trying to live my life to the fullest.
Did that do something for you? Did that awaken something?
No. It awakened my need for a restraining order. That's about it. But then it was fine because then he set a car on fire afterwards, so it was cool.
Yeah, fire's always good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I shared this thing with you earlier. Do you wanna take a look at this?
I do, but I don't like. Actually, I can't take a look at it on my
I mean, like I can
computer.
rattle some off for you.
Yeah, rattle them off for me.
Because
Rattle me bones, John.
Yeah, I found this list of like 100 would you rather questions, and I think some of them are kind of lame.
See, my problem with internet lists is they're never as good as they should be. Like you do like truth or dare with your friends, and you're like, I dare you to jump this fence into the neighbor's yard and drink his water hose and then come back. And they're like, oh yeah, let's do it. And then you go to like the internet would you rather, like, I dare you to drink a whole bottle of water in one gulp. And I'm just like, that's so boring.
I like walked out of my room the other day, and then my roommate was like, "Oh, hey, how's it going? Actually, I'm gonna go get a bottle of water." He grabbed a bottle of water from his fridge and just downed the whole thing. He's like, refreshing.
Oh yeah, those people
scare
scare me. The people who like grab like, oh, I'm gonna get a bottle of water, and they have like those wrinkly old ones, like the Mountain Spring, and they just open it, and then they just crush the whole bottle in their hand like that.
Basically, what he did, and I was just like,
And I'm like, why? Like, don't you want to just enjoy the savory taste of agua? Sometimes I'll be drinking like a lot of like sugary drinks that day, and I get to the end of the day and I just want a nice cold cup of water, and I'm just like, oh, that's amazing. That's why I just keep a water bottle filled up next to me now for such occasions like so. Did I tell you about the story about how I got throat fucked by this water bottle?
Yes, I think you did.
I don't know if I told you, but did I tell the podcast?
I don't know. You can say it again.
So, in case I did already tell it, I'll give like the Spark Notes version.
The footnotes.
The Spark Notes, okay? Like it's like you're learning Romeo and Juliet back in high school, you know? You ever use Spark Notes?
Yeah, and actually able to understand it.
Yeah, they got one side in the broken English, and then they got the other side in normal English. And then it's just like Romeo, and he's just like his whole spiel on the right side. He's like, "Yo, Romeo wants to bang." But it's like the Spark Notes version is I went on a plane. Air pressure is different when you're on a plane, specifically for water bottles with straws. Normal water bottles, I don't think the water comes flying out, but when you're on a plane and there's air pressure, this thing is pressurized. As soon as you release, it's gonna be a sudden release of pressure, so all the air is gonna want to go out. And because there's air in the water, because woo, science stuff, it's gonna want to come out with the water. So I'm in there. I open it. I see its water start pouring out, and in a panic, I go, "Oh!" And I just start getting throat fucked by this water while it's also splashing on myself and the people around me. And then they blamed my friend who was on the plane with me for spilling water everywhere, and when it was my fault. And it was just a whole thing, and I was just uncomfortable because that was only like the first hour of the 4-hour flight. So it was just awkward the rest of the time.
Well, I got this list of questions.
Yeah, sorry, I don't mean the spiral.
Like I said, some of them are good and some of them are bad. Like the bad ones, it's like, would you rather read a good book or watch a good movie?
It depends on what the movie and book is.
Yeah, see, right, there's too many variables. But hang on, maybe this one's good. Would you rather have the best house in a bad neighborhood or the worst house in a good neighborhood? I feel like these are both bad options.
I think the best house has good enough security to keep me safe.
That's true.
But I also think,
feel like
if I am in a good neighborhood with a bad house, then I'm the least likely to get robbed.
Yeah, but don't you think those neighbors are going to get angry at you because you're like bringing down the property value? Your house sucks. They're just going to start throwing
No, because I assume I bought it while I was already there.
Maybe.
Like, is this the assumption that I made the house shitty? Like, am I just punching holes in the wall on my daily life?
You're asking so many questions. There is not enough information here.
That's what I don't like about Would You Rather questions, is the information, it's too vague.
Okay, let's put some rules. Okay, so I think this one, you start with a bad house. You didn't make it bad,
I start with a bad house, like I bought it like that?
Yeah, it sucks. And
then the neighbors can't get mad. The property value is already shit. And they're getting robbed and I'm not. I'm fine. I'm very, is the word low maintenance? What is it? I'm easy to please. Like, if I had just a room like this to live in for the rest of my life, as long as there's like a kitchen and bathroom nearby, I'm fine. Like, I could live with that. Like, I don't need anything crazy in my life. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to. I'd love to be living in like a 4-story mansion, but I don't need it. Like, if I get rich, I'll probably still just go find a nice little 1-bedroom to live in,
Have you seen that interview where they were talking about like what is one luxury you couldn't live without?
A TV.
A TV? Yeah.
That doesn't have to be a big TV. I just want a TV. Maybe not like a CRT, like just like a normal TV.
It at least needs HDMI connections.
I just need a TV and an internet source that I can watch movies on this TV with. I need a form of entertainment.
And you're good. You're solid.
Yeah. What about you? What's luxury you can't live without?
Oh, that's a good one. I mean, maybe similar to yours. Maybe it'd just be like video games. I think like that's like a luxury I love. I
consider it a luxury. It's just been a part of my life the entire time.
Video games is actually a right.
I don't consider it a luxury because I just had it with me my entire life. I can't remember a time where I didn't have access to video games.
That's fair.
Like,
that's
I've
fair.
always had a
but
console
TV has something you haven't had?
No.
Then how come TV's a luxury and video games aren't?
Because I haven't always had a TV in my room. Whenever I wanted to play games, I'd always have to go to the TV in the living room.
Okay, so I guess specifically like your own personal TV.
Yeah. Which is nice now. I usually always have my own personal TV.
I would hope so, as living on your own.
Well, I mean, I just live in like a room, like to be fair, the rooms came with a TV.
Oh.
Like the TV it's awful. Like, it's a smart TV and it's really old, so like the buttons are like super slow and everything runs super slow. So that's why I just had to connect my console. It's just a lot faster. But I mean, it's still like nice to have a TV. They also like sell some downstairs, like little smart TVs downstairs.
What? They just have like a store where you live?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like a little grocery store type of vibe, but they also just have like stuff for your daily living as a student, Like they have like notebooks and just like toothbrush and toothpaste and things like that, you know?
I was gonna ask about toothbrushes.
Yeah. I also recently just got like a little travel one too.
When was the last time you've been to the dentist?
Ooh. It was definitely last year.
Okay, that's not that bad. That's not that bad.
It was sometime during the summer.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I think mine was.
And I technically didn't get all the work done that they wanted me to get done. Because I ran out of money.
A common problem.
It was also like I went in to go get something done, something that I've been waiting to get done for a long time and just had been putting it off. And then they're like, sorry, we can't do this. We got to pull your tooth out. And I'm like, huh? They're like, yeah, you got a wisdom tooth that's got to come out. I'm like, okay. And it was kind of interesting because they said like this wisdom tooth was like sitting like right under my jawbone. So it was kind of hard for it to get out, to the point where I'm just like sitting there and I'm literally fighting this guy with a pair of pliers in my mouth. Like, ugh, like he's pulling one way, my face is pulling the other. Like we're just trying to get past his bone because he didn't want to grind down anything that didn't need to be grinded down. He just wanted to like get the tooth past the bone.
I mean, that makes sense. Stop grinding things if you don't need to grind them.
Yeah, and then he sewed up the hole because like I know it's different for you. They didn't sew up your holes, eh? What? What's the problem?
I don't know how to answer that question.
Oh yeah, you're just trying to bait for the TikTok viewers. You're just trying to bait a clip for the TikTok viewers.
No,
yeah,
they didn't.
Dude, do tell me about how your holes got sewn up or did not get sewn up. Do tell.
They just did the normal thing. I honestly
can't remember. No, the normal thing is they sew up the holes, but I remember you telling me you had to stick a syringe in there to like squirt the food out of the hole.
What? Man, I don't know.
Was it you? It might have been Katsume. I was one of you.
That's who it was. Because the only time I got teeth pulled was like my wisdom teeth, and I was awake the whole time. Although it sucked. Turns out teeth.
Like I didn't feel anything.
No, I didn't. No, that's not the part that sucked. The part was smelling your like bones being like torn apart and like shredded.
Yeah, they didn't do that for me either.
What? How they like grind down your teeth to like pull them out?
No, he cut this fucker out. Like he was cutting my gums up.
No.
He cut around the tooth to get the tooth out, and then he just yoinked it out because I was already frozen.
Like I smelled teeth being drilled into.
No, that's gross. Weird. No, because what he did for me is he sewed up the hole with these like sutures that dissolve over time.
Yeah, I think that's probably what ended up happening with mine.
Yeah, so I assume the hole's just closed. I don't actually check. I used to keep the tooth on my PC in my room.
I think there was holes. I think there was holes at one point. That sounds right.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like there should be a tooth there. It feels kind of holy.
Welcome to the part of the podcast where we touch our holes.
Yeah, I fingered mine. You have to be in a YouTube video to see it.
Anyway, yeah, because I've been thinking about going back to the dentist because they sent me a text message and they're like, "Hey, you haven't been here in a year. We miss you." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I should go back again."
We miss you? Is that what they said to you? They said we miss you. Come back.
Maybe I'm ad-libbing a bit because I want.
I just like imagine the like dentist is like in your mouth with tools and like midway he just like strokes your cheeks like I missed you and goes back to it.
I mean, the place I went, they were like advertising it as like a whole spa experience. So they're like, you'll be super comfortable and it'll be a great time.
There's one guy just like inside your mouth, another person just rubbing your temples. Just like this. It's like you're doing so good.
Keep it up. You got
One of them just rubbing your feet at the bottom.
Doesn't that sound like the best dentist experience? Because everyone's like always scared of the dentist. That's like a thing.
Me personally, I don't know. I don't like feet. Like I'm not a feet guy. So like the thought of just like spas in general kind of turns me off. I don't want somebody touching my feet.
That's the only thing. What about like a back massage or like how you just like sit in the sauna or just like I don't know, spa things? I've never been one.
I've had people like rub my shoulders and like rub my back and like ways to try and make me feel good, and it just never did. It just felt like the
what a sentence.
Like, when someone's like, "Oh, you're stressed out. Let me give you a back rub," and they do this, and it just feels like they're rubbing my shoulders vigorously.
I feel like anyone who does that, if they're like your friend or whatever, that's like, "Oh,
it just feels like they're trying to start a fire on my back." They're like, "Yeah."
I don't think they know what they're doing. Is the problem? I feel like if you go to a professional masseuse,
I feel like it's not a hard thing to learn either. Like, I feel like
they have schools for it. This is a whole like profession.
If it takes you a year to learn how to rub someone's back, you need help.
Oh my god. Oh, sorry to all those professional masseuses
No, I just
out
get a
there.
Tonka truck and just rub it on, just ride it along
Oh
their
my
back.
god. No, I feel like that is like definitely an experience I want to happen once in my life. Is like
You want
go
like
for like a professional
full professional spa, like mud bath and
Yeah,
everything?
that sounds like so good. That's like I don't know. You always see those in the movies and they're like it's spa day and I'm like, "Yes.
You know
Give
what's
me one of those."
you know what's one thing I'm scared to go to? A
What?
chiropractor.
Okay, maybe that one, maybe not, because like there's a lot of noises that happen in those rooms that I don't think
a
should happen.
chiropractor will kill me.
You don't want him
Genuinely.
to just be like, and then you're like, oh my god, I feel
I
great.
think I just make one bad joke and he's got my head in like a twist. He's like, "Oh, he died. Freak chiropractor accident. Happens all the time, you know."
The problem is, I feel like I'm at a chiropractor session every time I wake up because I'll like get out of bed and then like move my neck and everything snaps. Then I'll move my arms and everything snaps. And like I don't know.
Yeah, if
I
like
don't know.
I'm
My body
sitting
just
in a
cracks
chair for a
lot.
long time, like I'll crick and crack like a little Pinocchio boy, you know.
Which I don't. I feel like people do that, but I don't think they should. You know, those noises should.
I did hear like that the thing that like when you crack, if you crack your knuckles a lot, you'll get like arthritis. I heard that was a myth.
Yeah,
I think I
it's
just
been
have
back and forth
arthritis.
for a while.
Like I've been thinking
You have
about it.
arthritis?
No, I think I'm gonna get it because
Why?
like think about it. Like you know how you're always holding a controller. Like just let your hands go naturally. And like you're holding a controller. I think about this.
No.
I think about this at night, and sometimes I'll just sleep with my hands flat on the bed just so it kind of counteracts because it's been bothering me. I'm like, are my hands gonna be like this for the rest of my life? Like if I put them like this, they're gonna like if I put my fingers like this and I let them relax, they just go back. They go back into that controller form.
Huh.
Like put your fingers straight and then just let them relax. They just like this forever. We're little T-Rexes now.
But it like feels so natural.
I know. For the audio visitors that don't know what we're doing, so basically we're holding a controller. If you have a controller or a remote of some kind in your hand, just hold it in your hands, and then picture that shape you're holding with your hands. That's how my fingers go naturally.
Are you sure? Okay, now hang on. Counterpoint. What if humans naturally have done this, and that's why controllers were made this way?
What?
Because controllers were made after humans. So what if humans always did this, and then they made
Okay, so then
controllers
if
to
you
fit
think
in
about
our
that,
hands?
you have to think about it in like a normal standpoint. Like, in what normal part of the human life are they doing this? Because controllers are not a natural thing. Not a lot of people play video games.
Okay, I feel like there's quite a few, you know. But like, what natural thing would have led to humans making this shape with the hands? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like your theory has holes. Like our mouths. We got little mouth holes. Oh, it's come full circle.
Oh no, let's not go back to the holes. Anyway, what's another question on here? Would you?
Oh right, we
rather
were doing
live
Would
in
You Rather.
Antarctica or the Sahara Desert?
Antarctica. I prefer cold over hot.
That's true. Deserts are like my least favorite thing.
I went to Vegas for a week and it was miserable. It was so hot.
That is a desert. I always forget it's a desert because it's a city, but the city is in a desert, and that.
No, yeah,
wow.
it was so hot. It was miserable.
Really?
Yeah, it's not like a hot where like you're like burning alive. It's just like it's a constant thing. It's just constantly hot.
Okay, question about that though. Is it dry, like a dry hot or like
It's
a
like
wet hot?
it's like humid. No,
Ooh.
it at like when it gets to like nighter time, it's humid. But when it's like
Nighter time.
when it gets darker, it's humid. But in the morning, it's like it's like a dry heat.
Okay, so you get the worst of both worlds. That's great.
Yeah, I hate it. It's miserable.
Yeah. That just furthers my hatred towards deserts. Nothing against people who love
Don't
deserts.
get me wrong, it's a great place to visit. No more than a week.
Yeah.
No more than a week.
That is what I've heard from people. It's like you can do everything you want, like within a week, and then you can go.
Maybe
away.
we should do that for our future bachelor parties. Just do the generic, go to Vegas, hit the slots, you know.
I think okay.
Because let's be real,
boss,
me and you are not really into like the generic bachelor party things, you know, where they like go out and get drunk and just like go to strippers and everything. Like I've never been a fan of that.
No, but they have that M&M store in Vegas, and you can print whatever
I've
picture
been
you
there.
want
I
on
went
the
there.
M&Ms.
I went to the M&M store. Oh my god, and I got a bag of M&Ms. It's so good. They had all the novelty M&Ms. Oh, the place is so cool. It's like 4 floors of M&Ms.
That's where you have a party.
I also went to the Reese's and like Hershey store. That place was really cool. And then I also went to the Coca-Cola store and I did like a taste of Coca-Cola. It was all awful. They had like a herbal tea carbonated drink. It was super gross.
Wait, Oh, are you a Pepsi guy then?
Yeah. Well, no, it was just it was sodas from around the world is what it was. So it
Oh,
wasn't
okay, okay.
specifically Coca-Cola. They were just offering it. I have footage of that. I'm not gonna put it here. Maybe I'll release it one day. Um, maybe for Patreon. Maybe if we ever do that. I heard Ko-fi's better than Patreon, to be honest.
I've heard some good things about it.
I heard Ko-fi is basically the same thing, but uh, they don't take as much of a cut. But I also
Hmm.
don't think you can have like a post feed and everything on Ko-fi like you can with Patreon.
Comment where you want to send us money.
Where do you
And
want to
we'll
give
do
us
that.
money? We probably won't do anything until like that until maybe we hit like the maybe when we hit like the YouTube partner thing when we start making money off the YouTube videos and everything. Maybe we'll do something like that then because that means there's
Hey,
a
wait,
certain
people actually care.
yeah, it means there's a select amount of people enjoying our content. I enjoy our content. I think it's great, and you should too.
Yeah, subscribe on the channel.
Subscribe and then I don't know what you do for Spotify. Listen to it.
But listen, you can follow the channel on Spotify. That's like a thing.
Yeah,
I think.
follow me home.
Let me tell you about my experience with pop the other day as I was trying to get a soft drink. Was I went to this fast food place and they gave me a cup, right? You know, and then you go fill it up at the fountain.
Sure.
And so I was like, okay, I'll get some Dr. Pepper. Now they had a sticky note saying Dr. Pepper was out. So I was like, that's sad because usually I like to combine that with iced tea to make ice pepper, which is the best drink
Don't
known
get
to
me
man.
started on that. You're so gross.
But they were out of Dr. Pepper. So I was like, okay, I'll just get iced tea. So I go fill it up, hit the button, and instead of going down, you know, like the fountain usually does, it went sideways and shot me like in the face. And then I turned back to like employees behind the counter and I'm like, and then they're all like chatting amongst themselves and they don't even notice. So I like grab a napkin and like wipe myself off. But I try again and then it does the same thing and I'm like, ah. So
yeah, so I've worked in a fast food place. When that happens, it usually means the nozzle wasn't put on back on properly because you can take those off and clean those. So it's
yeah,
probably
so
just wasn't
maybe there's
put
some
back on
buildup,
properly.
and then like I looked at what actually got in the cup, and you know how iced tea is kind of a clearish light brown color, right?
Yeah.
It was like a dark opaque brown, like
Okay. So that also means another thing happened. It means you didn't get any of the carbonated water that it's supposed
it
to
was
mix
just
with
the
because it
syrup.
was just the syrup. Yeah, because when fast food places buy their drinks, they buy it syrupy and then they mix it with carbonated like water and then it becomes the pop drink.
Yeah, so then I was like, well, that's a bust. So then I was left with two other options: Diet Dr. Pepper. Oh wait, actually no, Diet Pepsi, and then just normal Pepsi. And I was like, well, I don't usually drink Pepsi, but I'll go Pepsi, and that one worked fine. So I was like, well,
Did you
okay.
use the syrupy concoction that was still in the bottom of the cup, or did
No,
you
I
dump it
like
out?
dumped it into the bottom thing and then tried to wipe out the cup as much as possible, and then I filled it up.
So most of those things have a little water button. They did not have a water button that you could like rinse it out with.
I didn't pay money to get water at a
You're
fast
just using
food
it to
place.
rinse it out. You're not drinking the water.
Oh, yeah, that would have made a lot of sense
You
actually.
freaking moron.
Yeah, I didn't think of that
I meant
actually.
just
I
to
was
rinse
just
out your weird syrupy cup. Not, but you
was
made it look
wet
like
and angry and sticky, and I just want
I
to
was
go
wet,
home.
angry, and frustrated. I wasn't thinking.
I just wanted to be out of there. Plus, like this was 2 days ago where it was still -40 out, and I was like, I want to be home.
I just want to go home.
I came here for a hot hamburger, and then by the time I got home, it was cold anyway because when you take it from your car to the house at -40, it like instantly cools down. It's not great.
There was one time I went to KFC in -30. I walked there.
You walk there? How long was the walk?
It was like a 5-10 minute walk, depending on how fast I walked.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was fine on the way there, and I was fine. And then I run into my boss at the time on the way there, and she looked at me and she's like, "Shelly, what the hell are you doing?" And I was,
I
and
want
it's like
chicken.
it's like snowing and it's like -30. I was like, I was hungry. I wanted chicken. And she's like, "Why are you going out?" I was like, "Cause I'm hungry." And then she's like, "Get in the car." I was like, "No, I'm fine. I'm good." And she's like, "No, get in the car." And then it was like an order at that point. I was like, "Okay." And then she gave me a ride to and from KFC, and I was just like, and she's like, "Why would you do that?" And I was just like, "I was hungry. I didn't want to cook."
I feel like as Canadians, or I guess more specifically, maybe even in Alberta, we're a little more tolerant to some of the cold we get. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think I've said this on here yet, but there was one time where I had to catch a bus for classes, and so this was for university classes. So it was like I had to get up really early because it was still like an hour commute. So I think it was like maybe 6 in the morning or something, and I was standing out there. It was like -40, maybe even colder, and I'm at the bus stop, all bundled up in my jacket because I have to wait like 5-10 minutes for this bus to appear, and I'm like sitting there shaking, waiting for this bus to come. 3, 2, 1. I look around, and the bus never shows up, and it says next bus arriving in 30 minutes, and I'm like,
Okay,
oh no.
that happened way too often where we used to live. That would happen all the time. Like the bus
And
just
then
wouldn't
the
show up, or
next bus-
sometimes you'd be standing there and then they just wouldn't stop. They just
Yeah.
keep going.
Oh wait. Well, and the worst part was it was -40, so I'm like sitting there, and then because it's already like the closest bus stop was like a 5-minute walk from our house, so I'm like, well, do I walk 5
Yeah, the
minutes back to
closest
the
bus stop,
house?
but we needed that bus stop to get to a station, is what it was.
Yeah, exactly.
And
that
that
was just
station
the
was like an
start of
hour
the
walk.
journey. So I was like, well, I could walk back to the house and then back, but that's already 10 minutes. I might as well just wait here. So I waited there for like, well, and then I was debating whether the first bus would show up. It never did. So it was a rough day, is all I'm saying, and it went down and
Yeah,
burned
it
in
also
my
didn't
memory.
help that like all the stations that we used were all outside. Like there was only like 3 indoor stations on our like I don't want to call it subway because it's not subway, like a train line.
It's an LRT, a
Yeah,
light rail
a
transit.
light rail transit. Yeah, so those all of them were outside except for like 3 that were underground, but like you never had to go there. The only time we ever went there was for our job.
Did I tell the story of how I got sick on the transit?
No, what happened?
So this was, I think it was like, yeah, I met up with my family before work one day, and then my mom was like, hey, you don't look great, and I'm like, I'm fine, Mom. So we had breakfast. They dropped me off at the LRT station, ready to head off to work because I took the transit to the closest station to work, and then it was fine. But I get at this transit, I go up the stairs ready to board, and then I just instantly feel nauseous. And so I puke in the garbage can that's there, and I'm like, wow, oh, that was rough. But I feel fine now. I feel good. So maybe I'll still go to work. So I call up my boss, and I'm like, hey, I'm still going to show up, but I did vomit, so I might feel bad, whatever. And he's like, yeah, okay, all good. So then I get on the train, and I'm like, yeah, everything is, oh, no, not good again. And then the problem with the transit is there's no garbage cans
Nope.
on the transit. Now, luckily, this was still a little bit after all the pandemic stuff, so there wasn't a lot of people on the transit, which was nice because I had a whole seat to myself. So when I vomited, it just went
Where did you throw
on
up?
the floor.
Oh my god! Did you at least change seats so it didn't look like it was you?
Well, so I vomited, and then we got to the next station, and I just
You
instantly
just ran. You just
left.
ran. You hit and run. You hit and run a train car.
Yeah, and I never looked back. And then I called a taxi and was like, hey, can you pick me up? And then he's like, yeah, but you got to meet me at like this place a block over. So I'm like, okay. I walk a block over, and I'm like, hey, just so you know, I'm very ill. And he's like, oh, okay, no problem. And then he ends up taking me home, and it's fine. But I called my boss after and was like, yeah, I threw up like a second time. Yeah, I'm going home.
I think I haven't thrown up in like a significant amount of time. I want to say like since I was in middle school, I haven't thrown up.
That's pretty good. It's always weird trying to call in sick because it feels so like diminishing. Is that the right word? Like you feel like a kid. You're like, sorry, I threw up. I gotta go home.
Mom, I threw up. I threw up all 4. I don't want to clean it.
Down.
You gotta come clean it, Mom. No, I think of like the last time I got close to throwing up, I was just like laying in bed on my stomach. I was like, ugh, I'm dying. And then I get up and I start walking to the bathroom because it feels like I'm gonna throw up. And like halfway through, I'm like, if I move more, it's gonna come out. And there just happened to be like a chair nearby. I just grab for the chair and I just sit there. And I'm just like focused on keeping it inside me for like the next like 10 minutes. And then I'm like, okay, do I go for the bathroom and wait it out? Or do I go up the flight of stairs and get the ginger ale in the fridge? And then I decided to go for the ginger ale, and I'm just like crawling up these stairs because if I move too fast, it's gonna come out. And I'm just like crawling, and I get to the top, and my mom's sitting on the couch watching TV, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, oh, "I'm a full up."
I'll throw up. See, the last time I think I threw up was maybe this was actually a couple months ago, because I got food poisoning for the first time ever. And it was not a good experience. I'll tell you that much.
What happened?
So there's two options it could have been, and I don't know which one it is because as I was doing research while lying on the ground in the fetal position,
I will say you do get some questionable food.
Well, okay, hear me out. Because food poisoning can actually be anything within the last 3 days, so it could have been a few options. I made pasta like a week before and had been eating it all throughout the week, and so I don't know if that was old enough to give me food poisoning or not, but
I don't
that
think
could have been it.
Pasta can give you food poisoning if you're refrigerating it properly. I don't think it can.
Well, it was in the refrigerator, so maybe it wasn't that.
Where'd you
Or
keep it?
right before I got sick, I picked up a milkshake at this fast food place, and something about that also seemed.
Okay, well, milkshake can't
like
give you food poisoning unless they were like just dipping fucking salmonella.
Milkshakes can definitely give you food poisoning.
No, they can, unless they're giving you like expired milk, and you can smell if they're giving you expired milk.
What if they didn't clean their machines? You know?
What are they putting in it? Raw chicken? Like,
I don't know.
You think they're just blending up raw chicken before that? Like, it has to be a very specific scenario. I don't think the milkshake itself can give you food poisoning.
Milkshakes made from machines found to contain listeria bacteria and sold at restaurants have been linked to the death of 3. Oh wait, hang on.
Yeah, what the fuck? You didn't die. You flew up. You didn't die.
But it seems like they can give you something.
What is listeria?
Like I don't know. I'm gonna click.
I feel like you're grabbing at straws here.
Either way, I think it was one of those two options, but let me just tell you, having food poisoning was the worst because things were coming out of every end and it was awful. And then eventually, like, I felt like I'm like, okay, I'm good. I don't need to throw up. And then I threw up.
End? I did not process that. Like, were you shitting and throwing? Like, did you have to do like the maneuver?
Yes,
it was like the maneuver where you like poop and then you flip around and then you go back. That sounds awful.
It was not good. And so then, like, it was mostly just like. It was bad. And then at the end, I was like, I'm fine. I don't need to throw up. And then I did one last vomit, and there was a bit of blood. It was like a little bit red. But then I was like, I actually feel great. And then there was no problems after that. And I was like, I'm fine.
That sounds miserable.
Yeah, it was like the worst.
I've always noticed that, like, in groups, throwing up is like a chain reaction. Like, when one person does it, everyone starts. And it's the same with me. Like, that's the only other time I've ever gotten close is if I physically see somebody throw up. I can't watch it. If I watch it, I will throw up.
So anyway, that's why I don't like deserts. I think they're my least favorite place, especially even in video games. They're like my least favorite biome.
And that's why I don't like deserts, because milkshakes give you food poisoning. And if you want context, you'll have to watch the rest of the podcast because we are at the 37-minute mark.
Hey, I mean, we can do. Do you want to do one more?
We can do one more, yeah.
Oh, let me find a good one. Tell me a story while I find a good one. I love that story.
Tell you a story? Sorry, my brain's on lag right now. A story. What's an interesting story? Nothing interesting really happened to me within the week. Yeah, I don't know. A lady stole my croissant.
What? Like, maliciously? Did she tackle you?
No, I think she just assumed it was her egg sandwich. Because I was at Tim Hortons. And I was like, can I get a cheese croissant heated up, please? Because I was in a hungry mood. So I ordered that, and then I heard her, and they're like, cheese croissant heated up. And then this old little Asian lady pushes me to the side and like grabs my croissant, and she's like, where's my drink? And I'm just like, I just think it was my croissant. And then she like takes it and walks away. And then the lady comes back, the lady behind the counter comes back. And she's like, egg sandwich with bacon. I'm like, was that hers? Because nobody's taking this. I was like, did she think she had an egg sandwich in her hand? No, I said I want my croissant.
Okay, I maybe this one's good. Would you rather be stuck on an island alone or with someone who talks incessantly?
Alone.
What, really?
I can't fucking handle people who talk too much, bro.
No, that's fun. It's like a podcast. They just keep going and you just listen. You're like, yeah, good, yeah.
No. Can't do it. I can't do it.
Okay, do you think you would survive on an island if you got like if you were in a plane and it crashed on an island? Do you think you would be able to survive till help arrived?
And I only have the things that are on a plane.
I and like whatever was in your luggage. So if you
It's
travel
probably
with like
clothes. I travel with a flint and steel at all times. I travel with a flare gun. Hmm.
I feel like there's some survival things that like
With a
everyone should have,
plane,
but no one does. You know?
if we're crashing in a plane, yeah, I could survive 100%.
Yeah.
Plus we got our air cadet training under our belt.
How long do you think it would take till you resort to cannibalism?
Well, if I'm alone, I'd rather not eat myself. You know, I honestly
I'm
genuinely
looking like a snack right now.
I honestly genuinely think I'd be fine. Like I think I could hunt enough wildlife.
The problem I'd worry about is wildlife hunting me. I don't know how well I do in that situation.
Depends on where I am. Like
Yeah.
if it's like just in like Canada, the only thing I'm worried about is like a bear or a bobcat.
Bears. See, I always worry because most times I think bears you just like scream at them and then they get scared too. But you got to be worried because there's always some bears where they don't do that and they react the opposite
so
way.
what it is if it's what is it? It's if it's black attack, which is like get big, make yourself bigger than it so that like the bear's scared of
just
you because black bears are
scream
more
at
like
it.
if it's brown, lay down. You have to pretend you're dead. That's your only hope.
And it's like, ooh, I don't care.
Because first off, no, you're not gonna outrun a bear. It doesn't matter what kind of bear it is. I don't know who you think you are. You're not outrunning a bear.
What if you just start throwing honey
And also,
at
if it's
it?
a brown bear,
Will it
brown
stop?
bears are like double our size. No, you're not gonna. I sometimes see videos on the internet. It's so funny, and it's just like guys who think they could take a bear in a fight, and I'm like, no, no, you can't. Like a brown bear, you're so fucked. Like a black bear, maybe.
Brown bear. You, brown bear, in an arena, gladiator style.
I'm dead. No, I'm dead. Do I have weapons?
What would you need to kill it? Like, what do
A
you
gun.
think you would need?
and even then, it's iffy.
I feel like it would take more than just like a handgun to take it down, though.
Oh no,
like,
a handgun's not taking down a bear. I don't even think a handgun is getting to any vital organs.
They got too much mass.
I don't think a handgun is strong enough. Like when you're hunting bear, you have to bring a rifle. It's your only hope.
You don't think you could do like some action hero stuff if you just had like a spear where you like spear it and then go over the top and then take your knife and slide down its back?
Have you seen a bear? I don't think you've seen a bear. I don't think you've seen a brown bear.
Hang on. Brown.
Just look up a brown bear and then just like look for like the picture where it's beside a human.
Yeah, this one's standing on its legs. Brown bear next.
Jared's like, I'm just like, look at a picture of brown bear that's scary. He's like, look, he's standing like a human.
Oh, wow. Okay, so
They're
if that's
big.
a man. Oh, that one's screaming. Oh, that one's mauling.
Yeah, they're big. And they're also like really, really strong. Like stronger than us.
1,000-pound grizzly bear on man. When they stand on their hind legs, it looks like
Oh yeah, that's what bears do. They do that to get bigger because they're trying to intimidate other bears.
Did you ever watch Cocaine Bear?
No, I wanted to.
That's yeah.
It
They
seems
never
so
stood
funny.
a chance.
That was when like an era. That was in like an era of movies where they were just releasing the stupidest fucking movies ever. Like did you watch
wasn't it
Megan?
last
Megan
year?
is so stupid.
Oh, I also watched Megan.
Megan
Yeah.
is so dumb. It's,
Okay.
like, I
I
can't
thought
take it
Cocaine Bear
seriously
was,
when she
like-
starts breakdancing. I can't do it. I can't take it seriously.
I thought Cocaine Bear was weird in a good way. Megan was weird in like a bad way. It just there was so much there that just
I
wasn't
just
it.
couldn't take it seriously. It was too stupid. It just reminded me of like that episode from The Haunting Hour. Did you ever watch The Haunting Hour as a kid? It was on
I
like
don't think so.
it was on like I think it was on Nickelodeon.
Hmm.
It was just like an episode on there where like they got like an American Girl doll, but it was like life size, and then it came to life and tried to take to life with like the girl that it was meant to look like. Like it was super dumb.
I don't know. Some of those toys you always got to watch out for. Like you've seen Toy Story. Sometimes you got good ones. Sometimes you got bad ones. You know. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's one of those, you know.
Anyway, that's been a podcast.
That's been a podcast. I think this one's been interesting. When you see this one, we might have had the next one recorded. I don't know. It's a crazy world we live in. Sometimes you're the victim, sometimes you're the doll.
Bye.
Bye.